What's up, Georgia? My name is Jaden Williams, and I humbly serve as the Georgia State Conference NAACP Youth and College Division State President. I have the extreme honor to be sitting here at the 81st State Convention and Civil Rights Conference. It's exciting because this is the largest multi-generational conference across the state happening now. But I have an honor as well to be sitting with Neandre Broussard, who is the CEO of Black Men's Wear. And we have some exciting news and a big exciting announcement at the end of this conversation. So make sure you guys tune in. We're about to have a good time. And so I'm going to allow Neandre to just kind of introduce yourself.
Well, Mr. President, thank you for having me here today. I'm very excited to be here to experience greatness, right? To be able to participate and just take all it in of what the NAACP Georgia is doing and see and hear some of the initiatives that are have got us to where we are here today, but they're also looking to take us to the next 5-10 years, to see yourself in leadership and to see the youth and college division showing up, you know, in a way that say that the next generation, we taking care of things, you know what I mean? So I'm very, very excited to be here. It's an honor to be here. I just appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. So I want to dive a little bit deeper because I know we're streaming on our platform. So I know they know about the oldest and the boldest, the most cussed and discussed, the most geared and revered organization that is the NAACP. But I kind of want them to get a glimpse of what is Black Men's Wear and where did it start? Where did it come from? I remember you told me Texas, if I'm not mistaken, 2014?
2017.
I was close.
You were close. You were close. You were close. So Black Men's Wear, we're a cultural impact agency. And what that means, let me give a little background, then I'll get to what it means to be a cultural impact agency. So I live in Dallas, me, myself, my wife, my two sons. And in about 2015 to 2017 was a really tough time for me as a black man to see how the media portrayed me as a black man, because the consistent barrage of police interactions was definitely taking a toll on me, because I would see visuals, I'd see the news, and every time that they seemingly spoke about somebody that represented me, it was in handcuffs or getting shot and murdered down by police at that time. And so it was one of those moments to where that compound of there's another one. Now we're becoming so desensitized to it, to where when we start to think about what this imagery is doing for us and how it's removing us from our humanity. And for me, it was really important at that moment to say, what can I do to really depict who I am? Who my sons, you know, at this time my boys are babies, right? Who they are, who my buddies are, my homies, my cousins, my friends. Cause we're all out here trying to make a better place in the world for us and for our families. And so, you know, that was one of those turn point moments for me where you know, God really said to me, what can you do? How can you leverage your expertise in social media to be able to amplify a voice that actually represents your community? And so that's where we started the platform of Black Men's, where it was started as a voice to be able to change the narrative, because the narrative was so negative. And I understood, you know, as a part of my major, I had a really big balance of sociology. So I understand how from a large group of people, the more you impress upon a large group of people, the more you can get them to react a certain way. Right. And so how all of these years of consistent negative imagery, what it's done to our community, and understanding that, I said, nah, man, if I can just start a compound effect of positive imagery, just looking at how just represent ourselves in a way that just receives positive feedback, receives positive input, the opportunity there just to grow a voice that helps us to understand our kingship was really what we were trying to go to. And so as we developed that over the years, we've largely become known for traveling the world and doing what we call our flash mobs. So the Black Men's Wear Flash Mob is a traveling series. We've been to 30 markets globally, bringing together black men, business owners, entrepreneurs, blue collar, white collar, don't matter. We bring brothers together to have a safe space to network and connect. And then we have the privilege of capturing that content, the organic content. You know, we get together, we're going to have a good time.
That's right.
And to be able to have a safe space where brothers are not only just networking, but they're sharing ideas, they're bouncing ideas off of each other, they're sharing business endeavors, they're partnering with each other. They have a safe space to say, man, how you doing today? Bro, I ain't doing that well. Talk about it. Like let me hear, bro, what's going on, so that way you have somebody that can balance out the world that we're in. So that's the focus of our flash mob movement. That flash mob movement has now catapulted us into what we call a cultural impact agency. So what we're now able to do is tell these stories that focus on black men and black community in a way that's not necessarily told from a brand's perspective. So we'll partner with a brand to come and to talk about, they want to talk about their product. We'll say, okay, cool, the product is great, but we want to tell a story about the black man, the black woman that's utilizing the product in a positive light. We want to be able to showcase family. We want to showcase upward mobility. We want to showcase all of these things in a way that when we receive these stories, again, it comes back to us feeling empowered and motivated versus getting beat down and trodden down by all of the media that tends to try to keep us in a particular place. And so that's where we are, man. We are a cultural impact agency. We work on changing the narrative. We work on fostering economic growth for black creators. We work on developing community that's a safe space for black men to be able to grow and partner together. And we do it in our own way.
Awesome. I love that. I'm glad you said that. That's announcement number one. So we're going to throw it out there. The Georgia NAACP, as well as the Youth and College Division, will be joining the Atlanta Flash Mob as you guys are on tour.
Yes, sir.
What's the date for the Atlanta Flash Mob?
November 4th, Saturday, November 4th. We are having our Atlanta Flash Mob that morning.
Awesome. So November 4th, y'all heard it. Go ahead and save the date. Be on the lookout for more information. Now back to this conversation. Now you said y'all are a cultural impacting agency.
Yes, sir.
I love that. That's kind of similar to what we do here at the NAACP.
Correct.
But I love the fact that you specifically targeted black men.
Yes, sir.
Because it's gotten to a point to where we're afraid to even get in the car. Are we going to come back home that night? Are we going to be able to see our families again? If I get pulled over, what do I need to do now?
Right.
Before and I'm glad that we're kind of talking about this because the conversation is rarely had. So I'm glad that we're able to sit and kind of digest that cultural shift, right? Yeah. So how do you think today, in today's age, we as young people, as well as the older generation, how can we come together in one, making the flash mob big, but also making sure that we're culturally set for the next generation?
I think one of the biggest things that we have to always consider is collaboration is better than competition.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we feel as though, oh, I'm not a part of the NAACP, I have my own organization. And it's like, okay, great. Work together, and I think that's one of the biggest things that, historically we've been bred to be the best, and if you're not the best, unfortunately, ain't no room for you. But now we're in a space where it's room for all of us at the table, and we're in a space where we're building our own table. So I think the most important thing is to think about is we don't have to do it alone. Some people might not agree with all the principles or concepts of an organization, but that doesn't mean you can't work together. That doesn't mean if we have a common goal, which is empowering and motivating, that we can't work together. I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, right? And we talk about the Divine Nine. And, we joke with each other about like, oh, my organization is a little bit better than yours, jokingly, but at the end of the day, it's all about community growth.
Right.
And so if we're able to take all of these organizations that we can collaborate together, somebody's got to take the lead, right? NAACP is at the helm. They've been at the helm for a long time taking the lead. But let's partner. The other organizations need to understand how they can partner with the NAACP so that way we continue to push everything forward versus, all right, well, this group's going forward and we going this way and we going that way. Like, nah, let's work together, let's collaborate together. So I think that that's really the most important thing, is to be able to come to the table, sit at the table, and collaborate. Let the egos go, because egos haven't gotten us anywhere.
Yeah.
And so how can we continue to push forward collectively, I think is something that we have to address.
Yes. You spoke a word. I hope y'all was listening. That was a word. But no, I'm excited, right? One, because this cultural shift, more so for the city of Atlanta, the state of Georgia is big.
Yeah.
And when I saw that you were on tour, I immediately had my team reach out, because it's like, yo, when they come to Atlanta, we got to make it the biggest one. That's like, this is going to be the male renaissance.
Come on now.
Let's just go ahead and throw it out.
Come on now.
So I did kind of want to jump into one by saying this real quick.
Sir.
In the next few days, the Georgia NAACP Youth and College Division will be dropping a raffle where we will be giving away 20 tickets to something we're about to talk about.
Okay.
And that is also going to be around the November 4th date. So you all stay tuned for that. But I heard, let's get back to you.
Yes, sir.
That we are having a summit, the Black Men Summit,
yes, sir.
in Atlanta when you do the flash mob. So give us a little bit more about that so they can know what they raffling for.
So, man, as we were traveling and going to all these different markets, and the flash mob it's a 2-hour event. From the time that we start to the time that we wrapped up in the car going, it's 2 hours. And my team, we were just sitting there taking it all in and experiencing all this brotherhood and hearing the conversations and hearing the questions. And we were like, man, this is great, but we got to have something a little bit more robust so that some of these questions can actually have time to get answered, right? Some of these guys can actually have time to tap in and hear from some of their favorite influencers, their favorite entrepreneurs that are at this flash mob with them. Like regular, they are regular, but we're all regular people, but they are there in a controlled environment that just allowed us to be black men. And that's how we developed the concept where Black Menswear, along with the Black Man Can platform, along with Black Wealth Renaissance platform, and along with the Dad Game platform, last year came together and said, we're going to host a summit for black men to feel empowered and to leave there ready to take on the world. So last year we did it in Dallas for year 1. Year 2, we're in Atlanta to have our Black Men Summit on November 4th. We've got Dr. Jamal Bryant is coming to be our keynote speaker for today. We've got fireside chats with Marcus Barney, known as Him 500, on entrepreneurship. We've got Derek Harper Sr. On entrepreneurship. We've got Julian Gordon teaching brothers how to develop and get into the real estate game and look at multifamily properties and how those can be a game changer for future generations. We've also got Derek Grace, who is all about protecting my family, manhood, right to carry arms. So we're looking at the full gamut of black men. And then we also got Trey Bryant, who's a leading influencer on black male style. Like, we're going to have all these guys together to talk about all these things that we want to hear about, from real estate, from investing in money, from entrepreneurship, from style. And then having this safe space for us to ask questions and not feel, as men, we oftentimes feel as though we can't be vulnerable. Yeah. But you know how much action, collective agreements have come out of vulnerability? Because now I'm able to level, you and I are on the same playing field or in the same situation. We're like, okay, I don't got to keep my guard up. Like, let's really get through some really tough conversations here. So to be able to have that space for us to do it on November 4th at 2 o'clock. So we'll have the flash mob in the morning that gets everybody loose. And then we're going to get into it at the summit on that afternoon, where we can really dive into some things. We've got activation. Shea Moisture is sponsoring what we call a affirmation station. So everybody gets to go into their personal room and to be able to give themselves a message that they can then play back to themselves in the future, or give to their sons or their brothers or their cousins, have a message that they can affirm who we are as men. We've got a room called the Emotions Room, where brothers can go in there and find out information about how can I handle the stress that I'm dealing with, how can I handle the pressures that I'm dealing with, some way to balance their mental health. We'll have that safe space for them as well as a personal branding room. How do I take my brand to the next level? How do I know more about, all right, I'm my own walking billboard. What does that mean for me as a black? I don't have a business or anything like that, but you still a walking billboard for you and for your family and for whatever you want to do. So how can they really understand what that means? We've got a space for that as well. And then we've got a room for they can really kind of, if they want to, learn a little bit more about the suit game, right? Hey. What does it mean to have wide lapels? What is the cuff on the pants? What shoes go with what? Just so they can walk into a room a little bit more confident if that's the swag that they want. If they don't want it, it's cool, but at least us having this safe space for them to be able to come and learn and develop and grow with each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited.
November 4th.
I'm excited to come. I'm coming.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I was pulled to the side about 5 times on the convention site because some of these women's like, who are those two gentlemen? Who are those two? I said, that's black men's wear. They said, ooh, when they coming back? so I can tell you, not only are the men excited around convention to actually bask in the summit and actually gather for the brotherhood of men, but they're also excited because the ladies is running around like, ooh. Man,
and you know what? I really appreciate it. As an organization, we extremely appreciate black women, right? Because we are not where we are as a people without black women.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And the media will tell you that we're divided, we don't work with each other, black women are against black men, and black men don't appreciate black women. It's all lies, because I see it every single day. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so I just want to take the moment just to appreciate, because what black women do, a lot of instances to lead the households, to make the financial decisions, to be the breadwinners, they carry a heavy load, and we appreciate that. But I just wanted to make sure that that we appreciate the sisters that are asking about the sharp dressed brothers. But we want to do more just to cultivate community in all lanes, all areas, and we can't have community without Black women.
Absolutely. Now I'm gonna let you know I'm coming harder than y'all on November 4th. So
I hear you talking.
Y'all better go back to y'all tailors to figure out what y'all gonna wear.
I
I'm coming.
I hear you talking. Now, Jay, don't let me down now.
Hey, me and President Grease get down in the suit now.
Okay, let's go. Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm glad we had this conversation, and I'm glad we got to talk about the flash mob, and we got to talk about the summit. I want to remind you guys all across the internet that we are going to be sponsoring 15 members from the state conference, and we're also encouraging all of our units across the state to sponsor at least 5 to 10 adults and young people throughout the state.
We've got the specific discount code for NAACP. When you get your ticket, just put in NAACP there. It's going to take some of that price off of that ticket.
Period. Y'all heard them first. We have a NAACP discount. So that means what? You need to get your ticket now.
Yes.
So we're excited. I want to thank you first for coming all the way down to the Georgia NAACP convention, and you and your team. You guys are welcome for the entire convention. I hope you guys can kind of bask in what we do and how we do it.
Yes, sir.
We are on 114 years for nothing, so y'all get to experience what an organization really is and how we actually dive deeper into community advocacy.
Yes, sir.
And how we dive deeper into making sure not just the state looks good, but our local communities look good too.
Man, I love that, and again, I just want to give kudos because as an organization, I mean, this is an organization that as a child you grow up and you read about in the history books and you see what the NAACP has been doing before, during civil rights, after where we are now in the new wave of civil rights, because we're still fighting for stuff today that we feel as though we should have already had, right? But to be in the position of at the front of the fight and really appreciate that. And again, Black Men's Words, honored to be here, to be partnering with you guys, collaborating with you guys on the summit. And we'll just love to have membership of the NAACP there, brothers there, so they can appreciate and understand what we're doing, in our particular space for Black men, and how we can help to empower and motivate each other. Again, we talked about collaboration is better than competition.
That's right.
And we want to work together.
Well, you heard it here first, collaboration over competition. I want to thank you, Neandre, for coming out to the state convention. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Again, November 4th, save the date, more information to come. This is Jaden Williams, Youth and College President, and I am signing out at the 81st State Convention.